Hello everybody, Captain Tech Review here, and today, very excited to bring to you my brand new LG Watch Sport. This is my first video on YouTube, my new tech review channel. So if you like this video and you want to see more videos on this watch, I'm going to do a few more on this, some of the features more in depth. Please subscribe and like my video. So without further ado, let's get into this by do a quick unboxing. I want to do a couple of mentions about the battery life, a couple of mentions on some new features, and basically how the watch feels and fits. Basically the things I think people are looking for. That's what I was looking for when I wanted to purchase this. So, I picked this up from, before I even begin, this is how I do an unboxing video. I'm going to open up the box. LG Watch Sport. And this is, this is what we want to see. I open the box, I want to see the device, and everything else in the box out of the way. I will show you this, a couple things. This is the little tool that it comes with. So you can take the back of the watch off. You see these little divots in the back of the watch here. This little tool lines up with those divots. You can take the back of the watch off. And that's how you insert, and you can change your SIM cards. More on that a little later. Oh, I did buy this from AT&T. AT&T had these in stock, in store, on Friday. So I was lucky enough to be able to pick this one up. So right off the bat, you see that the watch is pretty decent size, thickness. Not too bad as my thumb here. It's 14 millimeters. Some people complain about, oh, it's too thick, it's too big, blah, blah, blah. Well, I mean, anyone who has a nice jewelry, watch, those things are big, and some of them are thicker and bigger than this thing is. And all they do is tell time, maybe a calendar, but this is a smartwatch. So this has got all kinds of stuff in it. You got a big well, I would say a good sized battery, 430 milliamp hours. You got the new Snapdragon 2100 processor, designed for watch gear. You have NFC, you have Wi-Fi, you get Bluetooth, you get LTE, you got telepathy. You got osmosis. You got everything in this thing. So it's going to have some heft to it. You get the heart rate sensor. All kinds of stuff. And you will notice that there's a little taper to the shape of the watch. That's basically so the heart rate sensor has a good contact surface with your skin on your wrist. So I think that kind of adds maybe to the weirdness of the size. You can kind of see the gap there. But that might accentuate the height of the watch physically. Oh, oops, let me do that, sorry. But I don't think it's too bad. My wrist size, for a reference point, is 6 5/8 inches. And I haven't had a problem with this, wearing this watch at all. And yeah, of course, what I don't like about this is that these watch bands are not removable. And you see they're stiff here, around this point, because they have antennas for the NFC and the LTE going into the watch band, so not removable. And what they're held in with is little tiny Torx screws, Torx bit screws. I'm not sure what size it is, but it's really small. I mean, it might be like a 0.5 or something, I'm not sure, but I'll try and find out. For the most part, I mean, I had a problem wearing it. The band is a polyurethane band. Some people say it's uncomfortable. For me, it has not been a problem. I've worn watches like this a lot. I mean, I prefer a nice, sporty, big, hefty watch, and most of those watches usually come with a band like this. And they did it for obvious reasons to put antennas in there, so for better reception, but I don't mind it at all. I kind of like it. One thing that's nice is these, they have these 3 cursors on the side here. The 2 buttons are programmable, you can open up apps with. And you have the scroll wheel, and the scroll wheel, what I haven't seen mentioned in any written reviews yet, is that this feels really nice. It has a nice, resistance to it. It has a little bit of, I don't want to say feedback, but it's it feels like you're turning against some weight. It's like a weighted turn. It actually feels pretty high end. It doesn't feel cheap whatsoever. And this also acts as a button. So that's basically the functions of the features of the watch. Well, the aesthetics of the watch. And one thing I want to mention too is on my wrist, 6 5/8 inches, I'm clasping my wrist basically at this 3rd hole, I believe. So I basically can see the 2 holes above the clasp. So I think it's either the 3rd or 4th one I'm actually going into. And that's the snug fit. And it's not super tight, and I don't like it all floppy and loose, all over the place. I don't like that. like it to be nice and snug. And I haven't had any problems with it being uncomfortable. I haven't worn a watch in a while, to be honest. So I'm kind of getting used to wearing a watch again. And it's sort of a novelty thing. It's like, wow, I can check the time on my watch without having to take my phone out of my pocket. It's kind of like, oh yeah, wow, I can check the time on a watch. Big, shocking concept. Without further ado, we'll get into a couple of new features in Android Wear 2. I don't want to spend too much time on it. I'll do another video probably speaking about Android Wear 2.0 after some time of use. But a couple new features that I kind of like. You know, you got now get the swipe down, see the settings, and one thing I want to mention in connectivity, you can see what connections you have. I have GPS on, and when you go to cell data, I'm going to shut this off for a second. We're going to see why in a little bit. Wi-Fi on, blah blah blah. So I have a lot of things on right now. And one thing I'll say about the battery. So right now we're at 45%. We're gonna do a few things. Use the watch for about another minute or two, and we'll see how much usage the battery now has been used. And what I'll tell you is, when the screen is on, the battery gets used. So with normal use, I think I should be able to have no problem getting through a day. And I'm not gonna use LTE. Probably not gonna have Wi-Fi on at work. I'll probably have that off. I'll probably have NFC off most of the time. Unless I know I'm going to go shopping, I'll probably turn it on. But for the most part, it'll probably last you a day. And realistically, you're going to charge your smartwatch every day anyway. Something like this. And this is probably a Samsung probably charging. Your Apple Watch you're going to be charging. Something like the fitness trackers themselves, they don't have this kind of sophistication of OS. Well, most of them don't. They're more built for fitness tracking, and that's what they're great at. And I'm going to talk about that also in this watch. Probably another later video is the Google Fit. The fitness tracking functionality of this watch and how well it does that or not. And one thing I will mention is, well, I have this program for opening up the Google Fit. And one thing that's kind of cool is I did a push-up challenge this morning, and it's kind of cool. And you have the watch on your wrist, and you're doing push-ups, so your wrist isn't really moving all that much. It does move a little bit, but it's not going like you are. And I gotta tell you, I did, well, of course, I have it set to 5 reps. I'm not some weakling. I did a test here, all right, guys? So I did a few push-ups, and the number I did, it knew exactly how many, it counted exactly the number that I did. Well, I was actually pretty impressed with that, first of all. So one cool thing is you push the button in, you get a little app drawer, and the scroll wheel works really well. Go up and down. Now you can see how smooth and cool and how nice it runs. It's not choppy, not laggy. It works really well. You push the button to go back. You scroll the wheel up for notifications from the bottom. You do the watch face yourself and down. I really like Android Wear 2.0 so far. I'll do more on it later, but one other feature I want to show you is this. Okay, Google, show me the nearest Italian restaurant. We have Google Assistant on our wrist now, which I think is amazing. And it doesn't read back any results to you like the phone does, but as you see, it works pretty well. It wasn't slow, as some reports I've seen said it is, and for the most part, I haven't had any problem with it working whatsoever. Here's another test. Okay, Google, what's new in the world today? It brings up a little news feed here. So I mean, I think it's worked fine myself. No issues at all. And so far, I haven't drained the battery too much. I haven't used it very much. One thing I do want to, that's kind of neat also, is Google Maps on here. Oops, sorry. It's kind of hard to see. I'm looking through my phone. My camera when I'm trying to operate this is I have a hard time getting to judge the distance. So here's Google Maps, and you see this is a watch running Google Maps. I mean, this is pretty wild. And you see how cool how well it kind of works. It's pretty awesome. And it finds my location pretty easily. Before you figure out where I live, I'll shut that off. But so far, I've been very happy with this watch. The last thing we're going to mention, because I'm going to do some more videos on the software itself, the Google Fit capabilities, and just, battery life. I'll probably do the Android Wear 2.0 and battery life together. A little more in-depth options of all the apps. I have to play around with watch faces and apps. So to change your watch face, just swipe over to the left or the right, to the right. And I have a couple different watch faces here. This one's pretty neat. I like this one. It shows you battery life of your phone, and well, Apple does that too, of the phone, the watch and the phone. You have the weather, and of course, obviously your time. So it works. There's some cool ones. Yet you can play with. There's like billions of these things. But as you use the watch more, you'll get more used to it. But so far, it's been great. And the last thing I'm going to mention is this. Now, I bought this from AT&T, as I mentioned. I am a Verizon customer. And check this out. Let me go in the settings here. Go to connectivity. This watch from AT&T appears to be unlocked. That's right. AT&T version of this watch is not locked to the carrier. I put my SIM card in from my phone, and it is working in this watch. I haven't added it to my plan yet in Verizon. I might do that just to try out the LTE functions. But as you can see, the AT&T version of this watch appears to be unlocked. It accepted my Verizon wireless SIM card. That is amazing. So that's all I have for today, guys. That was the big reveal that the AT&T version of the watch seems to be unlocked. I'll come back later, talk a little bit more about the Google Fit capabilities, more on the battery life, and what I think about Android Wear 2.0. So if you like this video, please subscribe, please like it. I'll have more coming up soon. Thank you again. Peace out.